We all know that AI is the most revolutionary tool of our generation, but just like social media, we were never given a manual on how to properly use it. Social media was a resource that was presented to us as a tool for stronger human connection, but in a lot of cases resulted in mental health issues and addiction. Now AI is being presented to us as a tool for creativity and efficiency, but if we're not careful, it could strip away the very thing that makes us unique, our abilities to think and create. Before we get into the actual context of this video, I want to make it abundantly clear that in no way am I against AI. I actually use AI daily in my business and I study its capabilities regularly. However, I have noticed that there have been some moments where I have developed a slight dependence on it. And I think now more than ever before, I recognize that if one isn't aware while using these tools, it can create a lot of damage that we're unprepared for. Hello? And I think the most obvious place to start is the social media parallel. When social media was first presented, it was a way to enhance connection, creativity, global conversation, and just a way to essentially bring humans closer together. But I think over time, it's no secret that a lot of those benefits have diluted. When you think about the dependence that we've developed around social media, and you think about physical interaction actually going the other way, and you see a lot of the social skills of the younger generation kind of going the other way, and then the mental health challenges that surround it as well. You also start to see one-dimensional content to a degree, right? Where a lot of people just try and play into trends, and the creative aspect starts to get diluted, where making innovative content isn't seen in the same way, whereas a lot of people just try and create the same things and play into trends. And then of course the transition from social media, where it was in the beginning, when you think about like some of the first social platforms in the beginning, where it was all about human interaction and connecting with each other. So we have now transitioned from social media to just media. And that's the truth. Like, we were unprepared for these things. And if we're not careful, history will repeat itself with AI. And because of the impact AI has, its repercussions could be a lot more drastic. It's interesting, man, because I'm in Indonesia at the moment, and it's very interesting to observe, right? Because in a lot of ways, the Western world is perceived to be like elevated in all these different aspects of life, right? Especially as far as tech goes, like, it's no question. Out here, although they're not more advanced with technology per se, right? You're not gonna see like the average child with an iPad, but with that comes stronger human connection, you know? Like, I'll just be out here on the streets, bro. You got all these children just waving at you, saying hello. You'll be on the streets, these kids just start conversations with you. So of course, in the West, yes, we're a lot more technologically advanced, but out here, because tech hasn't infiltrated their minds in the way that it has in North America, like, what consumes their attention? Human interaction, just how it used to be. Hanging out with your friends, playing outside, waving at a stranger, just, you know, saying hello. And I mean, like, bro, like, if you live in North America, you know, like, you don't see that in North America. You don't go outside and like just have children waving at you and saying hello. Like, not even just children, bro, like people in general. Like, it's just, we're just not as connected in North America. You know what I'm saying? Whereas out here, it's very chill and just like the little things, you know, like I said, just smiling at people and interacting in those subtle but impactful ways, right? And the reason I bring up social media is because I have observed a lot of different parallels between social media and AI. And I think the next point that is really worth making note of is that AI should be a tool that we use and not the replacement. You know what I mean? Because going back to the points that I just made note of, in a lot of ways, social media has become the primary source of conversation, like the primary way that, you know, you interact with people, you know, and you might be able to say things through social media that you wouldn't be as comfortable expressing, you know, in your physical reality. You know what I mean? So AI being the tool, but not the replacement, because it's obvious, right? Like, when used correctly, AI enhances productivity, automation, speed, organization, research, all these different things. But there should be a fine line between when to outsource it to AI and when to take on the work ourselves, because I think developing this dependence on outsourcing all of our creative tasks to AI will essentially deteriorate our creative muscles. It's like using a calculator for all basic math, to the point where, you know, you need a calculator for everything and you can't do basic math in your mind anymore. If you train yourself to only be able to crunch certain numbers with a calculator, you're gonna lose your ability to do math, you know? And I feel like, of course, another point that's worth making note of is a common fear that a lot of people have, which is humans being replaced by AI. Of course, yes, AI will automate jobs, just like every technological shift in history has, but AI can't replace human experience, right? It can replicate patterns, but it can't replicate perspective. It can recreate voices, but it can't recreate your lived truth. Like, that's just a fact. The danger isn't in AI replacing us. It's us replacing ourselves by no longer exercising what makes us unique as beings. And in my mind, like, that is one of, if not the greatest risk within this AI era, is the loss of individuality. Like, everybody sounding the same, everybody creating the same things, people just copy pasting AI scripts, captions, using AI voices. Bro, like, you probably started to notice it already. Like, I'm sure y'all have, because I definitely have, bro. You just know when something has been written by AI. Like, when it's almost like too polished, it sounds too robotic. You just know, like, over time, our AI senses, like our AI radars, if you will continually get stronger. You know, I mentioned earlier in the video that I use AI in my business daily. You know, sometimes when, say, like, I'm putting out like a job posting and I'm looking to expand our team, you know, you get all these like job applicants, right? It's just like, it's almost like comical what people submit. Like, they're literally the same. All of these resume job proposals, if you will, they're all the exact same. And of course, from one standpoint, it's like, okay, it's more efficient. You can reach out more people more efficiently. But again, quality, quantity, if I know that it wasn't written by you and you're just copy pasting this to everybody, in my mind, it already makes you less qualified. That's what y'all need to remember, right? Like, AI does not create from originality. It creates from patterns. What we feed into AI and train it to believe works and is acceptable, it will continue to create more of. And the more data it collects, the more it continues to replicate that pattern. So if you only consume and generate through AI, you risk sounding like everybody else. And in a lot of cases, that is very dangerous, right? Because you're stripping yourself of what makes you unique. And I think for so many reasons, the protection of our creativity really does matter, because our imagination, our intuition, and our perspectives are irreplaceable. You know, we've been given so many tools as creators that I feel like most of us are not even fully aware of. Such an amazing part throughout this human experience is exercising those abilities and becoming more aware of the abilities that we've been gifted with. But just like any muscle, like if you think of like a physical muscle, like if you don't exercise these muscles, right, like these creative muscles, they're gonna crumble. You know, you forget how to use them or lose your ability to use them. I really feel like creativity is what makes content resonate. Right? Like, not just polished words, but the polished words that have been put together, of course, and then with your own fine tweaks and whatnot, that's irreplaceable. Like, that's something AI just simply can't do. A lot of us probably already know this, but we lose sight of it because it's just becoming so normal. You know, we clearly live in an era where there is a constant battle for our attention, and short form content is the best example of this. And for those of y'all that don't know, I actually run a content agency where we help creators create the best content possible. And that has been a constant pattern that I've noticed, is oftentimes they struggle with knowing what to create, and they just want to create what everyone else is creating. When it's like, of course you can use what's working as inspiration, and you should, but to just copy exactly what everyone else is doing, in my mind, defeats the purpose of creating your own brand voice. And AI does the exact same thing. But as we become more accustomed to AI, I do predict that there will be a significant shift in our values pertaining to connection. I think the true value of connection will continually be brought to surface. And a great example of this would be 1,000 true, authentic supporters will have significantly more value than 1 million passive followers, you know, because there's connection there, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's why streaming has become so big in our society. You know, like when you think of like gamers or on the Twitch platform, I think there's just stronger connection there between streamers and their communities. And that's why they're so successful, because the connection between the streamers and the people that follow them is nothing like, you know, like TikTok or Instagram. You're actually connected to them on a human level. And that's why, you know, you continue to see like streamers just really dominate the online world, and they're killing it. And I think that's exactly why, because human connection. So, you know, how do you use AI without losing yourself? It's not like we're just not going to take part in using the most revolutionary tools that have ever been presented to us. The way I like to think about it is like, think of AI like a spotter at the gym. If you go to the gym and you want to lift more weight, you can drastically increase the rate of your progress if you have a spotter with you to give you a little assistance when you're struggling. But you still got to go to the gym. You still got to consciously make the effort to get there and to cultivate a plan as to how you're going to become stronger. And you have to be dedicated and consistent. So there's still a lot of effort on your part, but you have that assistant that's there for you to help you elevate quicker and more efficiently. And of course, always add in your own unique lens. Always add in your own unique voice, your own touches. Do not get in the habit of just copy pasting things. It's honestly like irritating and lazy. You know, when you see that, it's like the tool is already helping us be so much more productive. Like the least you could do is add in your own creative touches and not sound like everybody else, because you're just making yourself lazy by doing that. And don't allow yourself to become so dependent on it that it becomes this habit of using it to the point where you're completely dependent on it. Right? And that's why I've been constantly telling myself, use AI, but use it consciously, not habitually. Because when you have these habits of using it to that extent, you will make yourself lazy and you will lose your own creativity. And I think it's really important that we all set our own standards and create boundaries of when to use it for efficiency and productivity and when not to for originality. And I think a great way to do that is to get in the habit of drafting your ideas first and then presenting them to AI instead of the other way around. Because if you're constantly letting AI generate all of your ideas for you, man, that's tough, bro. Like that's just tough. Because the key is finding balance in the AI era. And I feel like that's just what I've come to realize more and more every day. Because the goal is not to fully reject AI or to fully merge with it, because both extremes are dangerous. If you resist it completely, you risk being left behind in a world that's constantly evolving. And if you merge with it completely, you risk losing your creativity, your ability to critically think, and your humanity. The key is balance, right? Like being separate enough to preserve your identity, but united enough to leverage this new technology. You can't be too far on either side. You need to be able to find the right middle ground that will allow you to leverage AI to its fullest potential without compromising yourself. So yes, the revolution is here. Resisting AI isn't the answer, but I do get the feeling that most of the people watching this video aren't resisting AI, and a lot of us are fully aware of AI's capabilities. And I do feel as though the primary message that I'm trying to invoke is not allowing ourselves to lose ourselves within this revolution, and finding ways to work in harmony with AI in ways that humanity wasn't able to do with social media. It's the perfect opportunity for us to evolve ourselves and to elevate ourselves and learn from our past mistakes that we made with social media and are continually making with social media. Because I still feel like there is so much that we can learn from the way that we use social media. But now dealing with AI, like this is an even bigger beast. But the good news is that we're far more equipped this time. I think the key is just to use AI consciously without surrendering our individuality to it. So just remember, y'all, the real power of AI isn't in replacing us. It's in reminding us that what makes us human is irreplaceable. I feel like in a lot of ways, this was a video that I was essentially filming to myself in a way and getting out a lot of the thoughts that I've had around AI recently. So I thank y'all so much for watching. I hope you were able to find some value in this video. And I would love to know if you share similar perspectives as me, if you disagree with me completely, if you think there were some things that maybe I missed, I would love to see them in the comments below. I love chopping it up with y'all. I'm sending y'all so much positive energy, an amazing day, an amazing week. I'll catch y'all in the next video, man. It's KT.